I'm Tracie. I'm an addict alcoholic. My sobriety date is July 13th, 2016, and for someone like me, that's a miracle. You know, during my childhood, I got involved in athletics. I competed strongly in softball, volleyball, and basketball. Through high school, had a great group of friends, got to do the homecoming court, got to excel academically, and I didn't experiment too heavily for what I thought. I was smoking pot and drinking alcohol at parties with my friends and smoking cigarettes and nothing that got too out of hand. It wasn't controlling my life. I graduated from high school. I moved in with some friends and went to Edmonds Community College. I decided that I am too good of an athlete to be at a community college. I must go on to a D1 school, but I was lacking the grades at that time, and so I just decided to say, forget it. I'm just gonna go experiment more with boys and drugs and alcohol. And well, I got into some heavier substances, cocaine on the weekends, nothing at that time that I thought was too heavy. I met a man. We ended up having a very serious relationship. I got pregnant with my son, Noah. And at that time, we were not in a daily addiction. And we were gonna have this baby and everything was gonna be fine and we were gonna live happily ever after. And the age of 23 to 27, I was good. I was raising my son. Things were going great. I was in school. And then at 27, I found out my husband was cheating on me with my best friend from second grade. And also at that time, I had just told my family that I had been sexually abused by my stepfather. He admitted to everything, and my mom continued to stay with him. Everything that my stepdad told me had come true. He told me, if you ever tell anybody about this, you're gonna lose this, this, and this. This is what's gonna happen, and your world is gonna fall apart, and that was what was happening. So what I knew to do, and what had worked before when I was in pain, is I had turned to drugs or alcohol. My addiction picked up really, really quickly. It started with pain pills and quickly moved into meth and heroin. My meth and heroin addiction took me into crime. It took me to lying, cheating, and stealing even more, which is a behavior that I learned when I was very young from the abuse. It took a turn where I started burglarizing homes. I started stealing from any store that I possibly could steal from. I would drive my son to school, go kick in doors, burglarize homes, and then come pick my son up from school and act like nothing had happened. All the while smoking heroin and meth in my car before I picked my son up from school. I continued on going about my way of, I wasn't working, I was burglarizing homes, and I was doing that until I got caught. I have been in and out of jail more times than you can even imagine. I didn't know if I was ever gonna see my son again, and I was ready to surrender my life at that point and be, this is what my life has come to, and this is what I deserve. When I got to the Salvation Army, I was still completely broken. I was filled with guilt and shame. I was filled with, oh my gosh, my son is never gonna forgive me for going away this long this time. Salvation Army was a 6-month program. I had gone away 6 months before, and I was incarcerated. In going into the Salvation Army, it was a rude awakening at first for someone like myself who tried to look like I had it all together, and if I looked okay here, you wouldn't know what was going on the inside and wouldn't know how broken I was. Well, when you get to the Salvation Army, you get to shop in the store for the clothes that they want you to wear. They take your makeup away from you. I'm like, people are gonna know who I really am. They're gonna see who I really am, and they're gonna think I'm really ugly. At the Salvation Army, they have chapel service, and I recall at that time Major Yant in this specific chapel service saying, if you're ready to turn your life over to God, come up to the altar. Just come up to the altar. What do you have to lose? And that evening I chose to go up to the altar. And he said, after you go up to the altar, just tell one person about it. And I went up to the altar and I prayed, and And afterwards, I was so proud to tell Major Yant, I just turned my life over to God. And he's like, watch your life change. And he was so right. Like everything I have today, I feel like I owe to the Salvation Army and the experience that I had there. For someone who couldn't even get out of bed without smoking heroin off a foil, to being incarcerated, to robbing houses, to being a horrible human being. Today, what my life looks like is I have a son who loves me so much. I have a son who I've gotten to show that you can fall and you can get back up. I have a son that could have gone one of two ways. And I feel like because he saw his parents pick themselves up, he chose the right way. When I was struggling in the program, the house managers, oh, you'll get through it, Tracie. You know, I broke some rules, a lot of rules, and they still didn't give up on me. And they helped shape me into the woman that I am today, and the mom that I get to be today, and the employee that I get to be today. So this is a story of hope, and this is a miraculous story. And we couldn't have done it without the Salvation Army. I don't know what else to say.